Nightmare Real, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So I'm on BoxingScene.com right now, and I see this article, man. It's not good news. Luis Ortiz versus Alexander Ustinov will not happen, says promoter. Okay, let me go ahead and read a little quote from this. And I've been following this whole Ortiz versus Ustinov situation since the WBA put this tournament together. So I've been following this. I've been dropping videos. So I don't feel like I should have to rehash every single thing that's happened. First, the fight was set to take place either on or before, I want to say June 19th. I can't remember, but some date in June. And it never happened. Then it got set back. It was supposed to take place this Saturday on the, who's the Canelo fighting? Liam Smith. Got pulled off of that, okay? And we've been waiting ever since. But let me go ahead and read this. Oh, yeah, and then Ortiz was having problems with Golden Boy. He split ways with Golden Boy. Then we thought the fight was going to be off. Then Ryabinski and Hiranov, they kind of saved the fight, and they were going to have the fight. Ryabinski paid the $600,000. He put the bid up for the fight, and he won rights to the fight. All right, now let me go ahead and read some comments from, who is this from? Ryabinski. He says, the fight is off. Ortiz's behavior has been very odd, said Ryabinski. He has not signed the bout agreement, and from what I understand, he's scheduled to leave the WBA ratings. Ustinov should be mandatory for the winner of the fight between Vladimir Klitschko and Tyson Fury, taking place on October 29th. And no disrespect to my man Ryabinski, but that's bullshit. There's no way in the world. Okay, let's just say the WBA is going to dump Ortiz from the rankings, which I find quite odd. I'm going to get to all that, but why in the hell should Ustinov just get a title shot? Now, I understand some of you may say, oh, because if you look at the WBA tournament format, Vladimir Klitschko is going to fight Fury. Then the winner of that is supposed to take on the winner out of Ustinov Ortiz. And since Ortiz is going to be dumped allegedly from the rankings, he should just fight Ustinov, right? Wrong. If anything, shit, man, Ustinov should have to fight somebody. He shouldn't just go scotch-free and just get a title shot, man. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I know he has a good record. He brings his size, and he's a big guy, and he's durable. But come on, man. His last 3 fights, Konstantin Eric, that was his last win. He went 5 rounds with him. I just seen Konstantin Eric just I did a post-fight video on it. Robert Herlenius came back and hit him with a right hand to the body, beat him in the first round. Okay? Maurice Harris. Come on, man. Travis Walker. A 2015 Travis Walker. I remember when Walker was one of the up-and-coming top heavyweights years ago. You know, I mean, these are his last 3 wins. How in the hell should he just get a title shot? And he beat a 2013 version of David Tua back in the day. So, no, man, just looking at his last 3 fights that took place in 2015, there's no way he should just be gifted a title shot. He should have to fight David Haye. And I'm just saying if Ortiz does get dumped, David Haye, somebody, man, Andre Fedosov, Trevor Bryan, give us somebody in those WBA rankings that he should have to fight. Now, on the other side of the bracket, I think that's bullshit, too. I seen the WBA ordered Lucas Brown to fight Freza Kendo. And Freza Kendo had a bye. This motherfucker had a bye. Come on, man. And they ordered that like last week, and they have 120 days to make that Lucas Brown versus Freza Kendo fight. But being that the Kendo's been out with injury, and his injury, what delayed his immediate rematch with Ruslan Chagaev. I will give Freza Kendo credit. He did have a close fight with Ruslan Chagaev. Could have went either way if you watched the fight on YouTube. So he was supposed to get an immediate rematch for that regular title. It didn't happen because he hurt himself in training. Going on, 2 years now. So he's been sitting out healing. You know what I mean? That's why Kendo got that bye and he was in their rankings. Because shit, whether we like it or not, Freza Kendo is rated number 4 by the WBA. That's just facts. That just is what it is. You know, I know the WBA, they're about to change their rankings here in a few, so we'll see what the new rankings are going to be. And they said they're going to reinstate Lucas Brown in their top 5. Right now, the top 5 rankings, 1 through 5. Now they still have, they still have Ruslan Chagaev as the regular champion, but that got taken away from him. He retired. Because they reinstated him the regular champion after he lost to Lucas Brown, because Lucas Brown with the clenbuterol, blah, blah, blah. Now he's back, And the top 5 goes like this. Number 1, Luis Ortiz. Number 2, Vladimir Klitschko. 3, Alexander Ustinov. 4, Frez Akendo. Number 5, David Haye. All right, so that's the top 5 the WBA right now. Now, as far as Luis Ortiz having, his behavior has been odd, I mean, come on. I mean, how can you really say his behavior's been odd? It's not like you're around him. You know what I mean? And from what I've heard, Luis Ortiz and his team say, no, we did sign the contract. It's Ustinov and his team that doesn't want to take Vada testing. I haven't heard any rebuttal from the Ustinov side as far as that goes. I don't want to hear about Luis Ortiz's behavior. I don't, that's just something as a fan I don't want to hear about. Just, do you guys want to take Vada, yes or no? And if you don't, how in the hell can the WBA dump Luis Ortiz because he doesn't want to fight somebody that doesn't want to take Vada testing? Doesn't make any sense. We want to clean up the fucking sport until it's time to clean up the sport. This is what I hate about boxing sometimes, man. All these guys just clean up the sport, clean up the sport, clean sport. We're innocent. Hey, you guys are blackballing us. Okay, well, take fucking Vada. If you're a clean fighter, what are you afraid of? It's just starting to piss me off, man. It really is. And I'm not blaming Luis or what's my man's name? Ustinov for anything. There hasn't been any test that came back to saying he's juicing. There's nothing. But it just, as a fan, it makes me kind of scratch my head. Like, you guys didn't sign up for Vada? I thought we wanted clean boxing. Now, I can understand if there was some contracts made up and those first contracts didn't have Vada testing and both guys were set to sign that contract and then, Ortiz tries to renege. But I don't think that'll happen because I think they want Vada from the get-go. I remember after, and you guys can look this up. I believe it was Dan Rafael wrote an article. Actually, I'm going to find out exactly when he wrote that article, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I don't want nobody to think I'm lying about this, man, but this was, the title is Jennings Ortiz undergoing Vada drug testing, written by Dan Rafael, ESPN senior writer, December 17th, 2015. All right, so you can, I'll try to leave the link in the description box, but that's all the information. You can look it up on your Google search and it'll pop right up. All right, now, the reason I'm going over this is because Luis Ortiz has decided to do random drug testing after that bout with Latif Coyote. He brutally knocked him out in the first round. Then after that fight, he tested positive for a banned steroid after the bout. So they changed the outcome of that fight. You know what I mean? So ever since then, he's been trying to do the right thing by fighting clean. Some people don't want to hear it. They keep bringing it up, but it's like, okay, yes, he did have a wrong in back in the day. I agree. But if the man is doing everything he can afterward to just clear his name, we got to roll with that. So I don't see, and he's been saying that. And I remember going into that Jennings fight, it says here, Jennings camp demanded the high-level drug testing because of Ortiz's past. That was according to Dan Rafael. And I remember Jennings and his team saying that, like, hey, we'll fight him. He's not the boogeyman to us. We just want him on random testing, So I don't see Luis Ortiz and his side signing any contracts that doesn't have Vada because that's what they've been on ever since. They said, you know what? We're not, people want to keep clouding us with our, that failed drug test. For now on, we're going to do the year-round shit. So I believe Ortiz and his team already had that in place to do year-round. So Ustinov, I'm not trying to hear about people talking about Luis Ortiz's behavior. Man, did you want to sign up for Vada or not? That's the question we need to ask Ustinov. And maybe us fans, we should be able to see the contracts and who didn't sign and what was going on and what was written up in the contract and shit like that. But, hey, man, do you want to take Vada or not? Yes or no? Miss me with the behavior and he should be dropped. Or he didn't say he should be dropped, but he said from his understanding, Rybinsky said that he may be dropped. For what? His last 2 fights, he beat Brian Jennings and Tony Thompson. Your last 2 fights, you beat, I forgot already. Well, Constantine Erich and Travis Walker, but come on, man. Nothing against Ustinov, but nah, man, you should have to fight for that title shot. And Luis Ortiz has been trying to get this fight with my man Ustinov, man. I remember, if some of you may forget, but when around that time Deontay Wilder was looking for an opponent for that Chris Arreola date, I did videos. You can go on YouTube and type in Deontay Wilder, Ustinov, and you'll see videos from probably myself for sure. And I believe Hatman Strikes Back, him, and maybe another channel. But Ustinov was one of the front runners for the Deontay Wilder fight. You know, so Ustinov, man, sign up for this Vada testing, man. Let's get this fight done. Let's quit playing these games, man. Rather than that, you should be dropped from the rankings if it's up to me. How the hell you don't want to, you running from a drug test? I'm out, man.